Question number 21. A jacket originally priced at 800 is on sale at 25% off. What is the sale price? Is it A, 600, B, 620, C, 640, or D, 660? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, normally, students, in answering this question, what they do, or even the normal people buying at the mall, what they do is they tend to get the actual value of the discount. So, since here in this question, that is 25% off. So, 25% discount. So, they multiply it to the actual value, which is 800. So, 800 times 0.25. Okay, which is the equivalent of 25%. And then the answer for that, they subtract it again to 800. So the final answer would be the value for the sale price. Now, there is also a technique there that is very convenient, or I could say more convenient than what I just have said. Now, knowing about 25% is the discount price, meaning you just need to pay 75% of it. Correct? Because in the 100%, 25% off, you still have 75% left. So, if you multiply directly 800 to 75% or 0.75, you automatically get the correct answer for this question. So, you just multiply 800 by 75. So if you multiply 800 to 0.75, the correct answer would be 600 pesos. Now, let's check whether we are correct. Alright, my dear math learners, very easy. I hope you got that one. Now, let us go to question number 22. If a population of birds increases from 3,200 to 4,480, what is the percentage of increase or percent increase? Is it A, 35%, B, 40%, C, 45%, or D, 50%? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, when you solve this one, what you need to do is you need to know the difference, okay? Or the difference of the two values to know the increase. So, 4,480 minus 3,200. And that would give you, of course, 1,280. Okay, so this is now the actual value of increase. Now, in order for you to get the percentage of increase, what you need to do is you get the fraction of 1,280 to its original, which is 3,200. And of course, if you cancel these zeros, you only have 128 over 320. And if you simplify this one by 2, just getting the half of this one, this will become 64. And you got the half of 32 or 320, you have 160. You can still divide this one. So this will become, if you divide this by 4, this will become 16. And then you divide this one, this will become 40. Still, you can simplify. And that would give you 8, right? You can still simplify it by 8. So that would give you 2 out of 5. So 2/5, if you convert that into a decimal, that is 40%. That is letter B. Okay, let's check whether we are correct. Alright, my dear math learners. Now, of course, as you may know, there is a lot of simplification we have done. But if you can find the greatest common factor for 1,280 and 3,200, then you automatically arrive to 2/5, which is equivalent to 40%. Okay, I hope that is clear to you, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to question number 23. What is the simple interest earned on 3,000 at an annual interest rate of 5% for 4 years? Is it A, 500, B, 550, C, 600, or D, 650? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, if you still remember your formula for getting the interest or simple interest, that is basically I, which is the interest, is equal to PRT, where P is the principal amount, R is the rate, and then T is for the time. So our principal value here is 3,000, our rate is 5%, and our time is 4, which is 4 years. So what you need to do is you just multiply them. But of course, you need to consider that 5% is in percentage. So you need to convert it into a decimal value. So moving it 2 decimal places to the right, that will become 0.05. So when you multiply 3,000 times 0.05, and then you multiply it again by 4, the correct answer is letter C, 600. Now let's check whether we are correct. All right, my dear math learners. So now let us go to question number 24. A bus travels at 60 kilometers per hour. How long will it take to travel 240 kilometers? 3 hours? B, 4 hours? C, 5 hours? Or D, 6 hours? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners. Knowing about 60 kilometers per hour, this means in every hour, 60 kilometers is being traveled. So, in order for you to arrive at 240 kilometers, what you need to do is you just count how many 60 are there in 240. So, you have 60, another 60 would be 120, another 60 would be 180, another 60 would be 240. So therefore, there are 4 hours. Let us check whether we are correct. Letter B. All right, my dear math learners, very easy. Now let us go to question number 25. If a motorcycle travels at 80 kilometers per hour, how far will it travel in 2.5 hours? Is it A, 180 kilometers, B, 200 kilometers, C, 220 kilometers, or D, 240 kilometers? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, this is the same concept as question number 24. We have 80 kilometers per hour. But now, in this case, we are dealing with the total travel it take after 2.5 hours. So, meaning, if you have 80 for the first hour, another 80 for the second hour. So, that is 160. But the next hour is 3 hours, right? We only need 2.5 hours, meaning half of the 80, because 0.5 means half. So therefore, what is half of 80? That is 40. In total, we have 80 plus 80 plus 40. So 160 plus 40. So 160 plus 40, that is letter B, 200 kilometers. Now let us check whether we are correct. All right, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 26. What is 7/8 minus 1/4? Is it A, 5/8, B, 3/4, C, 1/2, or D, 6/8? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, in answering or in solving subtraction of fractions, specifically dissimilar fractions, what you need to do is to use the LCD, the least common denominator. You need to make the two fractions equal to each other. Okay? Equal denominator, I mean. Okay, so how do we do this? So we have here 8 as the denominator and 4 as the denominator. So 8 and 4. What is the least common multiple of 8 and 4? That is, of course, 8. Alright, so what you will do is, since this is 8, you just copy this one. Now, this is 4 and this is 8. So, what is the divisor or what is the multiplier for 4 in order to become 8? Or what is 8 divided by 4? So that is 2. So that 2 there, you just multiply it by the numerator. So 2 times 1, that is 2. So 7 minus, because this is minus, 7 minus 2. You just copy the denominator. Alright. So 7 minus 2, that is 5. So therefore, the correct answer is letter A. Now let's check whether we are correct. All right, my dear math learners, I hope you got that one. Now let us go to question number 27. What is the equivalent of 3/5 times 5 over 6? Is it A, 1/2, B, 2/3, C, 3/4, or D, 5 over 6? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, in multiplying fractions, the rule is very easy. You just multiply all the numerators and then you multiply all the denominators and then get the lowest term. Another way in solving is by the use of cross cancellation, okay, or cancellation from the numerator and denominator if they have common factors. So in our case here, we have 3/5, okay, and we have 5 over 6. So as you can see here, we can cancel this one. All right. So 3 and 6, they have a common factor, which is 3. So if we divide 3 by 3, this will become 1. If we divide 6 by 3, this will become 2. So what is left in the numerator is 1. What is left in the denominator is 2. So therefore, the correct answer is 1/2. That is letter A. Alright, let's check whether we are correct. Alright, my dear math learners, we are correct. Now, I hope you got that one. Of course, if you don't want to use the cross cancellation, you just multiply 3 times 5, that is 15. 5 times 6, that is 30. So 15 over 30, if you get the lowest term by dividing both sides by 15, the answer is still 1/2. Alright. Now, let us go to question number 28. What is 2/3 plus 3 over 8? Is it A, 5/11, B, 25 over 24, C, 6 over 24, or D, 1/2? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners, in solving this one, of course, this is just the same rule as to the subtraction of fractions. So if you have the similar fractions having different denominators, 3 and 8, you just need to get the LCD. Of course, there is also another way in solving the similar fractions. That is what we call the butterfly method. So let me show you how to use the butterfly method. So that is 2/3 plus 3/8. Okay, by the use of butterfly method, this is this one. You multiply. So 2 times 8, that would give you 16. And then this one. So you just add because this is addition. 3 times 3, that is 9. And then divide it by this one. Okay, you just multiply it. So 3 times 8, that is 24. So if you simplify this one, 16 plus 9, that would give you 25 over 24. And that is letter B. Alright. Of course, you cannot get the lowest term of this one, but you can also convert this into a mixed number, which is 1 and 124. However, 1 and 124, or the mixed number equivalent to this one, is not in our choices. So therefore, we will stick to our correct answer, which is letter B. But if in any case, my dear math learners, you have 1 and 1 over 24, which is the equivalent of 25 over 24, you will consider the mixed number, because the mixed number is more accepted as the simpler form compared to the improper fraction. Alright, let's check whether we are correct. Okay, my dear math learners, now let us go to question number 29. What is 6/7 divided by 3/4? Is it A, 18 over 28, B, 8 over 7, C, 7 over 8, or D, 2/3? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, we have another question here, which is division of fractions. Of course, in the division of fractions, what you need to apply is you just copy the fraction. You keep the fraction, the first fraction, and then you flip the second fraction, and then you multiply. So, of course, in that case, that will be 6 over 7. So, we flip this one, that will become 4 over 3. And then this division will become multiplication. Okay, so 6 times 4, that is 24. 7 times 3, that is 21. Of course, 24 and 21 has a common multiple, which is, or common greatest common factor rather, which is 3. So this will become 8 over 7, which is letter B. All right. Now let's check whether we are correct, my dear math learners. All right. Now let us go to question number 30. What is the product of 0.7 and 0.6, or 7 tenths and 6 tenths? Is it A, 0.42 or 42 hundredths, B, 0.36 or 36 hundredths, C, 0.48 or 48 hundredths, or D, 0.54 or 54 hundredths? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Alright, my dear math learners, this question is very easy because you just multiply 7 and 6, and the answer is 42. So of course, where is a choice which has a 42 there? So that is 42. Of course, since this is one decimal and then this is one decimal point place, so if you multiply one decimal and one decimal, that will give you two decimal places. So that is why the final answer here is two decimal places. So letter A is the correct answer. Alright, my dear math learners, congratulations for finishing 30 questions, which is the third part of our reviewer series. Now, I just like to ask you, is this helping you, my dear math learners? What is your partial score among the 30 questions that we have already discussed? If so, you can share it to our comment section below. Feel free to ask me anything about the topics that we have discussed so that we can further discuss it. Of course, if you find this very helpful to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates, and also to you, please click that subscribe button because this will help our channel to reach more students like you. Now, let us go, my dear math learners, to our fourth part of the reviewer series.